Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Berryman here, coalition builder and founder of Bringing Humanity Together. Welcome to another wonderful Wednesday edition of Conversations for Humanity here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. We're so humbled and honored to have all of you watching today, whether to be live or on the replay. So again, we're so humbled and honored taking time out of your day to come watch and hear our special guest today, Crystal Bay, to come share her story with us today on Conversations for Humanity. So again, it's going to be another great and engaging conversation, not only one that will inspire you, but really will lead into connection, and that connection will lead into collaboration, and that collaboration will lead into community. Now, I truly believe in that. So again, welcome everyone to the Bringing Humanity Together live stream. This is one of three open forums under the Bringing Humanity Together umbrella, where people can discuss topics related to the workplace and humanity in the workplace in a very positive and constructive way. We want to know what the issues are out there that are facing people today, because it's our goal, our mission, our passion, our purpose, and I dare say our calling here at Bringing Humanity Together to create environments that people will love, not only in our workplaces, but also in our very communities. And as always, we'll be going live every day of the week, Monday through Friday. We have our community calls booked in at the beginning and at the end of the week. So if you'd like to join those calls, please message me and I will get the details to you straight away so you can join those calls. Fridays is done on LinkedIn audio, and that's at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then our other community call, which is on Monday, is on Google Meet at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you like I said, join those calls, please send me a message, and we will love to send you that information so you can join those calls. And hello, Amber. Thank you for joining us today. We would love to hear from you today. But also, we'll be going live Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, all at 2:45 or 3 o'clock, depending if it's going to be an event. And speaking of an event, we're going to have our next event tomorrow at 2:45 via Zoom. If you'd like to be a part of that event tomorrow, please send me a message and let us know, and we'll get you into that. And it's also posted on our business page on LinkedIn, and also my personal page too as well. So just look for that and everything like that. It's going to be hosted by our great team in the pillar of human development, Sven, Isabel, Brenda Lees, and Crystal. And we would love to have you a part of that call tomorrow. So again, that's going to be at 2:45 Eastern Daylight Time. In fact, here is the lady of the hour. Crystal Bay is with us. Hello, Crystal. How you doing?
Good sound. I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Hey, yeah. Which one?
If you want to you can your products, so let me just turn this on.
Can you hear me?
Chris, say something.
Huh?
Thank you. I can hear you now.
Okay.
That hoe is all I needed.
All right. Glad, Crystal, having you today here on Conversation for Humanity to come share your story. And already, someone was already saying hello to you. Amber is sharing her thoughts with us already this morning. So, Amber, thank you so much for joining us and everything like that. So,
yes,
Crystal,
hello, my beautiful LinkedIn wifey.
Yeah.
It's a running joke.
Yeah. So, how things are going for you today, Crystal?
Besides burning my bacon for my breakfast, good.
Well, we're glad that you're here. So
it was raining pretty hard. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to use my desktop because it was storming pretty bad, but it cleared up. So we're good.
And that's a good thing. If everything turns out okay, that's all that matters.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. That does. And also we have Jerome with us here today with us. He's right now charging up his phone, but he's here with us today. And again, everyone, if you would like to come share your story on Conversations for Humanity, please click this link, and this is where you can come share your story on Conversation for Humanity. And again, if you'd like to know more about bringing humanity together and you want to be a part of what we're building here, please reach out to myself, reach out to Crystal, and we will love to have that great and engaging conversation with you because we're
Carla's
really
trying to join us in SteamYard and she's not sure for the login. Honestly, hon, if you can hear me, you can use either one. If probably your Facebook account would be easier. If she's in the room in LinkedIn.
All right, very good, very good. And yes, I did put the links not only in for today's call, but also for tomorrow's event, so people can join us on tomorrow's event because that's going to be a great call tomorrow between you, Sven, Brenda Lees, and Isabel tomorrow.
It'll be interesting. In a good way. In a good way.
Yes. Always, and everything like that. So, like I said, Amber, we're glad that you're here with us today, and Jerome will be joining us here shortly once he gets back to his phone and everything like that. So, Crystal, I truly believe people should really know how you were actually led to bring humanity together in the first place. So, kind of do like an introduction to who Crystal is and what led you here to bringing humanity together.
Well, my name's Crystal, and my program is called Coaching the Phoenix. I honestly feel that because of my past and everything that I resonate the most with the Phoenix. No matter how hard you burn me, I will always rise from the ashes smarter, wiser, and more beautiful than before, and much stronger. So I am the Crystal Phoenix. I like to joke. And I actually found the group by accident in another room that I was listening in, and I don't remember which one. It's been too long, and my short-term memory sucks when it comes to little fine details like that. But I know I listened to you talk, Chris, and I resonated with a lot of it because bringing humanities together to me is right with what I want to accomplish in my professional and private life. I want to try and help eradicate domestic violence and bullying and such. And when you bring humanities together, that's exactly what we're doing. So it just resonated with me completely.
Very good, very good. I see that we have Miss Carla here with us today and Miranda. Hello, ladies. How you guys doing today?
Hello, I'm doing fine. How about yourself and the guests?
It's our very own Crystal, Miranda. Crystal's going to be sharing her story with us today on Conversations for Humanity.
Oh, such a pleasure. Nice to meet you.
We've met in some of the other talks, but yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes I'm loud and sometimes I would just be listening. So
That's okay.
Yeah. So how things going with you, Miranda?
It's going well. It's going well. It was a vacation period, and my sister came from US here, and we spent some time with her and family. It was more of a vacation and family time. So yes, it was great, but it's also great to be back here in the community.
Yeah, it's been a while. We haven't seen you in a while, so I knew something was going on. So I was like, Miranda must be tied up with family or something. I was like, she's always on these calls, so I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. Because I was busy, like with a lot of kids around the house and all that. But yeah, now I'm back.
Well, that is a great thing. So
always good to come home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see that Miss Carla is now back with us. Hello, Miss Carla. How you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing okay. I don't know how long this will last because the internet connection keeps going in and out for some reason. So I'm doing well. Driving home from my dad's.
How was Dad today?
Dad was dead. I'm
Dad
driving
was
home.
dead. That's sometimes you can only say is dad is dad. So
Mhm.
sometimes that's a great thing and everything. So we're glad that you're here too as well. And uh, like I said, just to let people know, please come to our event tomorrow. We already, if you can believe it or not, we already have, and I'm going to look it up here in just a second. In fact, I'm going to go to our business page and see what the current numbers is how many people is actually going to sign up and attend because uh, Brenda Lee's actually set this up herself between Sven and Isabel uh, and everything. So I'm right now looking at how many people are going to be and everything, and it's going to look like 34 people will be on the event tomorrow. Can you believe that? 34 people and probably counting in and of itself. So that actually 35. So that's amazing. We're going to have over 35 people on tomorrow's call. That is truly amazing. So we're creating some great impact and momentum in and of itself. So that is going to be great. So again, please, if you want to find out how to join that call tomorrow, send me a message or send Crystal a message or even Carla or Miranda, and we'll definitely make sure that you get that information. And also, and as a note to everyone, I'll be posting the LinkedIn audio call, which is our community call for Fridays. I'll be posting it a little bit later after this call, so please be on the lookout for that. And we would love to have you on that community call. So it's about that time, Crystal. The whole hour will be yours. So please come share your story with us here on Conversations for Humanity. The, the floor is yours, Crystal.
Well, like I said, I am a domestic violence recovery advocate and coach. Um, you can't hear me? Oh,
I can hear you.
hold
You're
on
good,
one
Crystal. Keep going.
I don't have the.
Yeah. I had to turn down my speaker because it was doing a duplicate. It was lagging. So, well, basically one of the things I learned when I was getting my certification is you coach what you know. Sure. Um, growing up, I had to the outside world a great home life. Well, not really. My stepfather, at the age of 11, thought it was a great age to introduce me to the world, I guess. Not so much. Um, and so because of that, I thought that sex and love were the same thing and watched my mom, how she would manipulate everybody. So growing up and everything, I was a wild child. Um, I just I had gotten into a pretty bad abusive relationship and it woke me up, made me realize that this isn't how the world should be, how love should be. And I started to try to get out, and I did finally. After my 7-year-old looked at me and said, "Mommy, it's okay if daddy hurts you as long as he comes home." Um, my best friend at the time, now fiance, was also my rock and helped me get out of the horrible relationship. Um, and instead of feeling like a victim, I decided to turn it around and use it for good and help others rebuild themselves. Um, dealing with the PTSD, everything, it happens. I've come to grips, but I still have bad days, like everyone. You know, I pretty much had hit rock bottom. Um, but I have found different tribes that have helped me. I'm in a documentary speaking out against domestic violence. Um, and I just got my test results to become a para professional, which is a teacher's aide, so I can work with kids, which is also a love of mine. Um, so I just turned everything positive. You know, why let the world just drag me down when if I put positive out, hopefully the positive will come back. Mhm. And that's kind of where I'm at with my life. I'm also a trained chef because of my father. But I lost him 18 years ago to a motorcycle accident. But he's always with me. Um, and I kind of blame a lot of my bad choices on losing him and my mom ignoring me about my stepbrother. And then realize, wait a minute, no, it's not their fault. They couldn't do anything. It's my life, my choices, and made the conscious effort and decision not to do what they did and live like that anymore, and want to help lift others. Mhm. So, still new to the whole public speaking thing. So if anybody has any questions or um, wants to know anything, please feel free. Um, I'm more spiritual than anything and believe that your mindset is what you need, and your imperfections is my motto in life. So, sorry, I just get nervous.
So, Crystal, since you're really passionate about domestic violence, and I've been there too as well. I had some of my own family literally go at it with one another, and I remember a vivid time for me when I was literally on the side of the road, seeing my mom and dad just literally just going at it out in the middle of nowhere. I know it's tough and everything like that, but how did it show up for you that you turned domestic violence into your passion and purpose? How did that show up and look like to you when you realized this is what I meant to do and everything like that? How did that come to pass?
Actually, coaching in general came to pass when I did a program in Iowa called Project Iowa, where they try to um, help facilitate finding employment and things like that. They give you the life skills and teach you how to do resumes, things like that. And two of the courses that you do in this program are mental health. And I really resonated with with both of the mental health coaches. I'm actually very good friends with April still. And watching what she does, it made me realize I do this anyway. I've always been the mom in my friends' groups. I've always been the one to uplift and be helpful and cheerful and, the one they cried to. And so I decided that I wanted to do what she did and help people uplift their mindset. How I chose domestic violence was when I met Anastasia and did my portion of Expose, the documentary. I realized that by sharing my story, I was helping heal myself as well. And realizing that there are so many other women and men that go through it and feel like they're alone. I don't want them to feel like that. The system failed me in every way. And I don't want if I can prevent somebody from going through what I did, including the system bullying me and taking my children from me and letting my abuser out of probation a year early, um, as long as he ensured that, um, I don't I really would love to, help somebody not go through what I did. You know?
And to me, Crystal, when we do have those moments in our lives, Crystal, I truly believe it is those very moments in time that will either define us or we will not be part of life. We literally will get into that moment and we have to choose, do I want to move past this and keep moving forward no matter how hard life throws things at me? Or do I just say I'm just going to give up and die and say I'm either not worthy enough, don't have enough strength, don't have enough whatever, and just and do that. And I give the greatest of kudos and respect and admiration for you to be able to do what you're doing because it takes someone who really sees not only the need to do so, but maybe also the opportunity as well to say, you know what, if I can at least get one, just one maybe, to really not go through what I went through, then I've done my part. And maybe that one will turn into many. And I truly believe in that dynamic, Crystal, because see, if you can impact one person a day and that one turns into four and that four turns into eight, not only does it create a ripple effect, but it
Yeah.
literally spans the test of time because not only are you creating a legacy for yourself, but truly, Crystal, you're helping create a legacy and a sense of meaning and belonging for those two that you actually are helping.
I agree. I always say I hate the term victim and I hate the term survivor, which is why I use the term phoenix. To me, they're both very derogatory. I refuse to be a victim. Yes, I have my bad days where I just want to give up and just crawl, stay in bed all day. I'm not going to lie. Everybody does, you know. But thankfully, I do have Matt, and he is very indulgent in spoiling me. As you can see behind me, I've got all kinds of music and art stuff for when I have my bad days. He just kind of throws me in here and says, "Find something to do. You're not wallowing." um, so building a good support system is also a very important thing. Um, and self-validation. I was actually in a LinkedIn group last night or the night before talking about that. And it's true. I'm very bad about trying to make sure that my thought process makes sense to anybody else but me. I'm constantly looking for validation because that's how I was raised. I was never good enough. I wasn't my sister, Sandy, who is the perfect child. And she tells me all the time how proud of me she is and everything. Hi, Barry. You know, I was never enough for any of the guys I dated until Matt. They were never faithful. My ex was the absolute worst. You know, why was I never enough? My biological mother left me when I was 9 months old, thankfully, with my biological father's parents who legally adopted me. Thankfully on that. And I at least had my dad in my life. But I wasn't enough for her to stick around. When I was 15, my dad, whom I love with all my heart and everything, but this was the one thing I was very angry about, was cheating on my stepmom, who I love with all my heart. She is mom. No, I don't care that she's not my blood. I was actually the one that told her because I couldn't keep it a secret. But he moved to Ocala, which was 5 hours away, to be with his girlfriend and her two daughters, who were friends of mine. I actually introduced them, because ironically, and I wasn't enough for my dad to stay. I wasn't enough for my boyfriends, So I'm always looking for that. I was always looking for that self-validation. Well, doing a lot of development and everything since I got out 3 years ago, I've come to realize that I am enough. I am perfect in my imperfections. Yes, there's always room to grow. I make plenty of mistakes. Uh, and keep your mouth shut, honey. No peanut gallery over there. Um, but I learn from them and I try not to repeat them, you know. Um, and that's all you can do. And I try to be there for others as much as I can. Even if it's just somebody I met that day. Last night I made a phone call to someone I had met in a group, in the self-validation group actually, yesterday, who had gotten very raw and emotional, and she reminded me so much of my sister that passed away. I felt like my sister was telling me, you need to reach out to this woman, make her laugh, something, because she was so raw and emotional in the group. And I did, and we talked on the phone for about a half hour, and um, she let me know that I did in fact make her day a lot better. And so to me, that was a score, you know. If I can make one person smile a day and that was having a bad day, I feel I'm winning.
And like I said before, Crystal, I truly believe that one will turn into many, and that means something. And I see we also have Constance here with us today. Hello, Constance. Thank you for joining us today. We would love for you to be on the call with us. I've already sent you the link, and Amber too as well. We would love for you to be a part of the conversation today. So let's hear from everyone that has listened to a little bit of your story and everything like that. And I'll go to you, Miranda. What's your thoughts on Crystal's story so far?
Okay, I will turn out on the camera because I want to speak directly. And thank you for sharing your story. It was like very touching in the sense that you've been through a lot and it wasn't easy. Like all the
And that was
people that you,
motivation.
yeah, that all the people that you thought that they will care about you and support you, they didn't. And yes, like sometimes it's like that. But what I heard from the story is that you didn't give up, and also you stayed positive no matter what. Because there are a lot of people that they say, oh, because of these life situations, I become, I don't know, doing some negative impact on the society, but you didn't. Instead, you turned your strength, like your pain into strength in helping others. And that's such a noble thing to do, in the sense of also not others to go through what you did, actually, or at least to help to do something about it, you know. And I appreciate you that for what you did, and keep going like that. And we all have this, how should I say, validation thing that we are not good enough, you know. And sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's about other people, that they have issues. They don't know how to take care of other people. I would say. So kudos to you, and continue to do and making great impact in the world.
Thank you. I
Wow, Miranda. All I can say is just wow. I love that. I truly do. And when you get to the point, like you said, Miranda, about being worthy, what if we're already worthy already? What if we're already there? And I truly believe we always get that thing caught up in our minds that hey, we're not worthy enough, we're not smart enough, we're not this, we're not that. But see, for me, Miranda and Crystal, I truly believe when we let that go, we will never be held back ever again. And I truly believe in that. So thank you for that awesome share, Miranda. Miss
I
Carla, what say you? What's resonating with you with Crystal's story?
Lots of things. I love the fact that she decided not to be a victim and that she was going to be an advocate for other people. Um, step up and stand up, chin up, chest out, and say, I'm not going to tolerate that anymore. I'm not going to play the victim anymore. I am going to move forward with my life. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. and you don't have to live that life of not being accepted by others, whether it be in relationships or your family or anything like that. And the fact that you decided to basically take the bull by the horns and improve yourself and realize that if you could do it and you could help one person not go through what you went through or
Well,
get to the point to where they're worthy, they feel that self-worth to where they can say, I'm not doing this anymore. I want to create a life for myself, and I am worthy, and I am going to be successful, and I'm not going to listen to people tell me, oh, you'll never do this or you'll never do that. And to have that courage to say, just watch me, because I'm not, I'm unstoppable. I'm not playing victim anymore, I love that. And I love that you're stepping up to the plate to do what you can do to help other people too, because there are a lot of people out there with different situations that need what you have to offer.
I actually kind of have a theme song that came out at the perfect time, actually. Hopefully all of you have seen The Greatest Showman. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. The music for it is so unbelievably uplifting.
It's Chris's movie.
Huh? When I started this journey,
it's Chris's favorite movie.
It's one of mine as well.
Short of Star Wars. Short of Star Wars.
When I started this journey of self-enlightenment, the song "This Is Me" really, truly resonated with me. And I love the version from the movie itself, but I happened to find a version from when they were doing rehearsals and stuff, and the raw emotion of everything when she's singing and is just so moving. It actually even made my therapist cry because it was so empowering that whenever I'm starting to question myself, I will watch that version of the song. Also, the song from the new Aladdin, Speechless, also resonates. I will not be silent anymore. I will not sit back and take it, and I will not sit back and watch someone else be harmed. I will be the voice for the ones that can't talk, that can't speak up. I'm tired of being silenced. The whole children should be seen and not heard thing I grew up with. And no, we all should have a voice, whether you're 5 years old or 105. We all have a voice, and it should be heard.
Me too, Crystal. When I lost my sister, that's how my parents treated me. And I was always known as the naughty child whenever we went out to their friends and families and what have you, and my family, they just saw me as the black sheep, the naughty one. So I know exactly where that's coming from.
I was actually the gray sheep. When I say my sister, she's actually my aunt because my grandparents had adopted me. But my sister who passed away last year, she was actually the black sheep of the family. I was kind of the gray one. But I'm not gonna lie. When I sent my mom the test results the other night, like I had posted in the group, because I was proud of myself for doing so well. I was worried that I wasn't going to pass even, and the fact that I got freaking 68 questions out of 72 correct, I was proud of myself. And for me to see, for my mom to message me and say, I'm very proud of you. Yeah, that little girl in me was pretty happy, getting that validation from my mom, because it's very hard too. I know my mom loves me. We've talked about the mental and physical abuse from when I was a child and everything. We've moved past all of it. I have forgiven her for all of it and everything, but you know, some of the pain still lingers, and to have that validation, yeah, it made me feel really good. I won't lie. But the same time, even if she hadn't said it, I am proud of myself. I studied very hard for that test and I got a 95%. The baseline score was 220. I have a 285. I mean, for somebody who hasn't done math or any of that, the subjects that I had to do to be able to be a assistant teacher, basically, in 20 years, pretty awesome, you know, that I scored as high as I did. So it's all just about helping, you know, yourself even. I took a art therapy course. I'm actually certified for art therapy as well. I have all kinds of certifications in my self-help because I saw how play therapy was helping my girls. So I wanted to be able to take all of these things that I'm good at naturally and be able to put them out into the world to help others. You know, if they don't have a physical voice or they can't say it, write it, paint it, whatever. You know, that's where the art therapy comes in, so that we can find a way to give the voiceless a voice. You know, that's one of the best ways to work through mental issues, finding the way to get the person to be able to trust and be open. If they don't want to talk about it, sing it, play it on the drums, whatever helps you get that dark energy out, go for it. There are days where I used to cook and just like pour it all into making funky recipes. I think there was only 2 times that I like made it and I was like, you know, that needs to just go. I'm not even trying it, but it was fun. And then there's days where I just want to paint something, or Matt will design something on the Cricut or the burner and say, here, paint this. Or like Constance's daughter drawing me the commission that I made. And when I saw it, it inspired me to start working on my phoenixes and things again, start like really going back into my creative side. Yeah. I'm so excited for that too. Oh my gosh. I'm a firm believer in encouraging people to let out their creative side. If you're in a bad mood, let it out dark, you know? Paint a gloomy grunk, whatever, you know, just let it flow out of you. It doesn't matter as long as it's from you. It's, you know, like this was something that Matt and I made together off of a scanned painting, you know? It's just a fairy, and I was in a silly mood, which is why she's all different light colors. She was actually a fall fairy in the book. You know, I wanted bright, so that's what I did. It was the middle of winter. I was tired of dark and cold. So, you know, I just expressing yourself however you feel right is what I want to encourage in the world, basically. You know, as long as you're not hurting somebody in the way that you express yourself, go for it.
Absolutely, 100%. So Constance is here with us today. Hello, Constance. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm here to support Crystal. I'm always being silly. Thank you for having me in this conversation. That's a spur of the moment while I'm like working really hard in here. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll drop in and see what's happening.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited that you came.
Yeah, I always support you. You support me. It's reciprocity. I'm big on it. People like, I don't like reciprocity. I'm like, that's on you. But I love to support my people when they support me. I think that's how we build community. So thank you for having me here.
Well, Constance, I truly believe what you're doing and what we're doing together here at Bringing Humanity Together, we really work well. We definitely would like to talk to you as well. So let's hear from Jerome. Jerome, how you doing? What's your thoughts on Crystal's story so far?
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Yep, we got you.
Yeah, Yeah, Crystal. We have that connection because I'm originally from Des Moines, so that was cool. That first of all, thank you for sharing your story, and then second of all, I love that you're from Iowa, even though I'm down here in South Texas now.
Hey, I'm a Florida girl originally. Iowa, I don't have anything against it, except for the system. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Texas actually is worse. To be honest with you, than Iowa, but Iowa is my roots. I wanted to thank you for sharing your story. I know that you say you don't like being a survivor. What I think of it is you're an overcomer. You overcame a lot of adversity. You know what I'm saying? You stay strong and you stay laser focused on yourself and help other people. So God has favor over you for doing that, because it's not easy going through all that you went through, and it shows that you're a strong woman, and I personally respect you for that. So I appreciate you pouring your heart out to us, and it was I'm blessed for being here, and Chris, thank you again for inviting me, and Crystal, we had that conversation about you cooking, and
Yeah.
told you just to, things happen, just take it and run with it. So, thank you, God bless you, and appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, Jerome, the whole reason why I created Bring Humanity Together in the way that I had, just like what Constance was saying, is about the reciprocity kind of dynamic. Again, one of our kind of credos that we have here at Bring Humanity Together is I help you, you help me, then we help we. It's just that simple. And when we allow that in our lives, and we can be able to maybe even allow this, Jerome, is to where maybe I can see what you see or even believe and just let that be for what it is. And then maybe in turn, you can see what I see and believe and just let that be for what it is, but still be in a place, in a space that you can not only help each other grow and thrive, but it's just like what we were talking about yesterday on Sharon Kara BHT. We were talking about, is a thought powerful? It is. And when we allow that thought in that state of being not only be so powerful and defining, not only for us, but we can also let that also be so powerful and inspiring and literally defining for those people that we are actually a part of their world in and of itself. That, again, that creates connection, that creates collaboration, that creates community, that even creates something so much far more significant than we can't even possibly imagine, even right here, right now, is really being a part of something bigger than of ourselves and just allowing that to be. And I truly believe, Jerome, bringing humanity together and what everyone together here is going to do in their own individual regard is going to be united and be as one when we see that we are one. We are there. And when we just come together and just get to that point of, I truly believe, the next currency of humanity, which will be rooted in value and not money. And when we start valuing people for who they really are and
not what they can give you.
And the next thing you know, bridges will be built
instead of burned. Wow, that would be a miracle.
It will, and it's hey, when you think about it, Crystal, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's only a matter of when and who's willing to step up to the plate and say, I'm hitting that home run in that field of dreams. And if you help others get their field of dreams, they will help get yours. So let's welcome Amber to the show. Hello, Amber. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
I am.
Hey, LinkedIn wifey. Hey, Jerome. And Constant.
Several times.
And the ones that I know in here. Yeah, Crystal, you, like the first time I heard you speak in a room, I want to say it was probably the expose. I feel like it was probably one of Anastasia's first Well, the first one that I attended, I know I went to a couple of them, and Crystal was part of this domestic violence film. And so the film producer, the one who was in charge of the project, was having these rooms once a week, maybe twice a week, where she would bring in people and kind of talk about
her actual story is what she was doing.
And she would talk about different people. And so, like, I think she brought Crystal in one week, and then and Anastasia, I had reached out to her because I was also, I had gone through domestic violence. And it just really resonated. Her message resonated with me. I wanted that message to be out there. I do think we don't talk about it enough. And because it's such a hidden topic that we bury our heads in the sand about it. So women are still at risk. It takes us 7 times on average to get up and get out and successfully stay out. And every time we go back for those 7, we're getting the hell beat out of us again. And we have to survive that and then get over that hump to get the courage to try and get out again over and over and over. So when I met Crystal, it was kind of like, oh, I get this. I've seen this. I've done this. And she kind of helped me share some of my story. Like I had stuff that I sit on, and like I'm really good about, I can pack stuff away and just it's done because I've already processed it. But if I need to go back to pull that vulnerability out so that someone else can share their story, so somebody else can purge their pain, and that's what I call it, purge it, get it out. You don't need it. You don't need to hold on to it. I have what's called the round table in my house, and you sit down at the table with my 3 kids, and I don't care if you yell, scream, slam the table, fuss, fight, cuss. I don't care. You've gotten it out, because I was raised in a household where you couldn't talk about anything negative. And in high school, I tried to kill myself. Trigger warning. I was an alcoholic. I smoked pot every day, and I numbed and I numbed and I numbed and I numbed because I had been the product of childhood trauma. I had been raped as a teenager. I had to have an abortion because they didn't do follow-up care the way they needed to. Like, it was so traumatic, and all I wanted to do was numb my pain. I was a super hard Christian. I was on my knees every day, and nothing was coming from the heavens. And I thought I was completely worthless. There was nothing on this planet that was lower than I was, honest to God. So hearing Crystal's story and just knowing that sometimes you need to share your pain so that other people are willing to share theirs, because you're not going to climb out of that hell until you've gotten out of it. And if you don't spill it, it's still there. It's not going anywhere. And so I had this ability. Some people say, like, wow, like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm good. But I can go back and I can tap right back into that very space. So that the people that I do help, because I'm like Crystal, I help victims. And so when I do speak to those women, when they're shut down, when they won't even give you eye contact because they have been so bullied and so pressed into a corner. And I see that. Like, I recognize it because I was there in my marriage. I was in it in a domestic violence relationship after that. And I recognize that. I recognize it with Crystal, but I also recognize in Crystal that ability to, you've been shoved in the dirt, but you got back up anyway. That every chip has been stacked up against you and you should stay down, but you say, I'm not doing it. I'm getting back up. Somebody else is counting on me. Yep. And that kind of, like, Crystal and I just kind of buffered off one another that way, that we both recognized that you had been at this very low spot where you felt like you were worthless, and you gathered that back up and said, no, I'm not letting somebody else's determination. I'm not letting someone else's opinions of me determine my fate. And I'm going to take this, no matter how shitty it is right this minute. Sorry about the language. But I'm going to grab it and I'm going to get out, because I know this is not what I want anymore. And I got to do what's best for me. And I always put myself last. And that was the hardest part of getting up and getting out for me, was saying, you were worth getting up and getting out for, because I always thought I wasn't worthy. I was there for my kids. I was there for my husband. I was there for the house and for the marriage and for my family.
You're there for everybody in the world but you.
Right. And that's what we recognize, is that we were women who had just said, we're going to let everybody else walk all over us. And that's not okay. So once you take that power back, once you find your voice, it's very easy to then kind of loan that out to other women, to give that out to other people and say, you can have your voice too. I inspired this, I won't say his name here, but I've got a friend that, from doing a domestic violence talk of my own, this man came out with his story of domestic violence that's 25 years old, that he's buried. And he was like, and he hit me up and he's like, you are giving me the courage to go out and actually talk about this for the first time in my life, and I did not know how that had shaped me, how it had shaped my relationships, how it had shaped my whole life, even his marriage now, because of what he carried and continued to carry. And he was like, you're finally giving me the ability to purge that. So I think you have to share your story.
And
we have a friend,
we have
a friend that says your story is someone else's survival guide. And we got up and got out. And so for each one of us that got up and got out, you are a candle for those women who are still in, or men. You're a candle for those kids who are watching their parents fight this out, and you don't want to watch that anymore. And so that's kind of why. And like I'm here to support Crystal with her message today, because it's a hard thing to talk about. And she has harder things that she's had to go through that I don't know how she survived, quite frankly, but she did. And so I give her massive kudos and massive praise. And that's why I came here to support her, so that she knows that, I do see that light. I see the struggle. I see how hard she had to work to overcome all that. And I love her for it.
And I also love one thing, you are all about the inclusion and talking for the voiceless as well. Amber does a lot of work with transgender and the LGBT community because of her trans son. And as my 15-year-old came out to me as gay, I like to go into her rooms and help her and, talk about all of that as well. Inclusion to me is everything, period. I don't care if my religion choices are different than yours. As long as you are kind and respectful, I'm good with you. You could be purple with green polka dots, although I might recommend, going to the doctor for that. I'm gonna be respectful and kind to you as long as you are respectful and kind to me. If you start acting like a bigot, I'll put you in your place. And that's as far as I see. I mean, people are people. Everybody deserves to be treated kindly. You don't know what that person's going through, why they're overweight or why they're too skinny or whatever. You don't know if they have medical problems, psychological, anything. Who are we to judge? Period. We shouldn't. Everybody has their own story. So why not just listen to it and give them a voice? Somebody's having a bad day, just smile and pay it forward to maybe make it a little better. Someone bitching at the cashier, well, maybe they had gotten yelled at or found out bad news. You don't know their story, so I don't judge when you're out there. You see kids screaming in Walmart and it's like, why? But don't judge the parents, because they're probably exhausted. The kid is probably exhausted too, which is why they're throwing a temper tantrum or whatever. So, everybody goes through their own stuff. So don't be mean. That's my biggest thing. I hate bullies. And that's Amber and I talk about that all the time, about how her son gets bullied. My adopted daughter is so scared of coming out to her actual biological family because of how religious they are. And they actually live in the town next to yours, Amber. Yeah. But she's so scared that they're going to be disowned. And I keep telling her, I was like, honey, you still have a family no matter what. You've got me. And trust me, I've got a community that will welcome you with open arms. You will not be alone. But I understand her fear, and I hate the fact that it's there. Which is why I do what I do, why Amber does what she does. We talk, we're the voice for those that are too scared to use it.
Yeah, and Amber, and I know Constance had to leave, but I definitely like to have a great and engaging conversation with both of you. And I would love for you to be a part of what we're building here at Bringing Humanity Together, Amber and Constance. I truly believe it's going to go right up your alley. So, Barry, I want to go to you, but let's welcome Monica in. Hello, Monica. How are you doing today?
Can you hear me okay?
You're good.
I can hear you.
Thank you. Guys, I have no idea how does the link works, but then I was watching you talking, and then for some reason I didn't know that I'm not in the show, so technical issues.
All right, no
It
worries.
happens.
No worries. So, Barry, what's your thoughts on Crystal's story so far?
It's a powerful one, isn't it?
That it is.
I made a few little notes. We are our own measure of our own worthiness, and that takes courage of convictions to take those steps. But most of all, be kind to yourself.
And that's the hardest one, actually. I'm my worst critic.
Yeah, that's because of what you were saying about not being able to speak your mind as a child. Children should be seen and not heard. So
And being compared to my older
I've been through that. I was bullied throughout most of my schooling, especially secondary school, doing my last year of exams. My father was a school governor of William Edwards, which is the school I was at, and I was bullied. At the age of 14 and a half, I was on Prothiodan, which is a mild trank.
I'm sorry. You must have been a zombie.
No, because it was a fairly low dosage.
Well, at least your doctors did it right. Over here, nah, anybody with ADHD, they'd like to zombiefy our kids.
No, because that stops their expression. And they're my two boys from my first marriage, John Paul and Robert, they're both ADHD and on the autistic spectrum. And I work with children with autistic problems and associations, and also physical disabilities as well as mental disabilities in my day job. So
many kudos and much respect for that.
It's very rewarding, but it's very hard because you can see the playbook, you can see what's coming next, and when you're in that position, you have to be able to be kind of 2 steps ahead of them, so you know when to catch them, or when they're about to fall, or when they're about to snap and go into a paddy or a tantrum or a misunderstanding, which causes frustration, which causes animosity and all that. So I'm acutely aware of that, and I think that's born out of my empathetic streak through my story myself. So I have that kind of power, plus it sounds odd, but also a kinesis. I can transfer heat from the palm of my hand to people.
Most coaches I've noticed actually have some empathic abilities to a sense, even if it's a slight level. And as far as the heat, I do the opposite, ironically. Cooling is basically what I can transfer. That's why I like to say I'm an ice fairy or an ice phoenix.
Not necessarily empathic abilities. I would have called it the superpowers. Superpowers, as long as you sort of the fact that this is not a limitation or sort of a superpower. And when you start to using it in a way that you're supposed to be using it, it just gives you so much advantage. You know, you read people literally through.
Yes.
You're just always ahead of the, you know, of others. You know, it's just it gives me a goosebumps, you know, because it's we were talking about Barry, so it's, you know, it's,
as I said before in one of these chats with Chris and Kimberly and and Carla, that I can walk into a room because I've been to that very part where you've got no answers, but the only answer is to take your own life. So you put yourself out of pain, but the consequences is that it's what you leave behind. I've been to that very edge, and I've come through the tunnel, as they say, through depression. And I've had long-term anxiety since my sister died when I was only 6. So my powers of development and journey have all been around a 7-year cycle. So I can tell if I walk into a room, I can tell by someone's body language or association in their speech that they're either struggling or that I can be there and just listen to what they need to say to help them. So that's where I'm at with this level of conversation. And God
Barry,
bless
this
you.
is wisdom based on the experiences. As you just build up that inner wisdom that your soul can hear and read and then understand others through your own pain. You know, you sort of in there, and that's the only way to feel it. You have to be on the other side, you know, of the tunnel, if you like, and then to sort of recognize that there weren't obstacles, there were the opportunities for you to grow and thrive, and to understand that these are not limitations, these are your superpowers, you know.
But it's
and
frightening.
then
It's frightening to discover them and not know. Yet you had a feeling when you were a child, because you lost someone that you love so dearly, that you couldn't express.
The only way to go there. This is the only way to sort of to develop this, you know, inner wisdom. You have to go through. You have to break down to break through. Literally, you have to go through a very, very, very hard, you know, times. You can't take it anymore, and you literally get like a huge, you know, slap on the face from life that makes you realize, whoa, what is going on? Stop, fight your life. And that's the moment when you surrender and you start to build up abilities to understand your superpowers, because they were always there. You just, I mean, I'm talking from experience, you know, those were somatic problems that my soul, my sort of self was awaken you to the point that it's giving you like physical pain, because you've been so blind to what's going on around you until, you know, you hit the moment, you hit the top of the iceberg, or I don't know, breakdown to the point that you can't take it anymore, and then it all sort of reveals naturally. I freaked out too. It's like
Chemically in my body, I ran out
we
of
here
serotonin
for
because I didn't sleep for 2 nights. I had a crisis
because of the energy. It's the energy from the super moon as well.
And because of not sleeping for
What we're here for. This is our superpower. That's why this is our experience here on Earth, as a human beings. And then I'm so glad, it gives me a goosebumps everywhere. That, you know, when you finally realize it, that you're not the only one. You're not losing your mind. And you just acknowledge the fact that everything happens for a reason. And that's the reason. We have to been through that pain. We have to been through that difficult, you know, dark times to understand the pain and to be able to help others. Otherwise, you can't.
I'm not the only healer. I'm not the only person that's probably had those challenges. But I can also recognize that in others as well. And I gravitate towards them.
We all have a superpowers. One is a healer. The other one is like a coach, a trainer, and I don't know. We're like all empaths. That's why we're here. That's why we've been magnetized, you know, all together. And Chris sort of gathered us into one place. He just picked up those people because we awaken. We're going through a difficult time. It's a huge planetary shift these days. We're in Aquarius year. It's a year of community, of love, of bringing people together, of raising that awareness, and that's why we are the sort of
The Mamas
new.
and Papas song, The Age of Aquarius. I suggest you listen to it.
What
Mamas
shows
and
up for
Papas, Age of
me
Aquarius.
right now, and what you guys are all sharing, especially what Monica is just sharing right now with us, it comes up to me in this. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Without failure, there is no success. Without triumph, there can be no tribulation.
Sorry.
They are literally interconnected. Everything is. There's a balancing act that has gone throughout
Yin and yang.
literally the history of the universe that is there. You
But
can't have one without
equilibrium's
the other, because think about it.
swayed.
If you have only happiness and that's all you'll ever know, then when
Then it's not worth anything without
life,
doing the other side.
yeah, and like I said, when you hear about that sadness, you don't know what you do with that, because it will hit you smack dab in the face and you don't know what to do. But when you become fully aware of who you are, now I truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, the better question to ask is not what you do. The better question to ask is, who are you? And once you know that, then you see the balance there within that has been given to us, to every single one of us on this planet. Because see, I share with people every day, if we don't recognize balance, what do we become in every aspect of our lives? We become
A mess.
There is a natural way to things. Don't fight it. Don't try to coerce it. Don't try to manipulate it. Don't try to do anything, really. If you just let things be for what they are versus what they're not, and this also what comes up for me too as well. Think about it. Would you rather have life happen to you or life happen for you? And here's the reason why I say that. Because just like in Crystal's story earlier, when she said that she was tired of being a victim, you know what she did? She chose to look at life happening for her moving forward. Because she said, I'm going to end up taking life by the horns, and I'm going to deem myself free from the reins that hold me down. Free to become who I want to be. Free to embrace others for their differences, for that which makes me whole. And when we allow those kind of things in our life, ladies and gentlemen, not only will it turn our paradigm in life around, it will actually do the very same thing in turn for others, by we just allowing that to occur. Because more often than not, what we tend to probably have been led to believe, that we truly believe that life is always about us. It's always about me. It's not. I'm here to tell you, it really isn't. Just like in the call that we had yesterday about the power of thought. Because a thought is powerful.
It is very powerful.
Think of something that's really deep and meaningful to you, what's going to happen? It's going to hit Crystal. It's going to hit Miranda. It's going to hit Amber. It's going to hit Barry. It's going to hit Jerome. It's going to hit Carla. It's going to hit Brenda Lees. It's going to hit Monica.
It's gonna the web that we have created, the trees, the branches, however you want to envision the connections, in some form, everybody that you meet, whether it be online or otherwise, that you make a connection with, you give them a piece of your energy, whether it's intentional or not. You exchange some emotional energy, whether it's positive or negative. That's between you and that person, how you imprint on them. I mean, like Amber and I, we hit it off right away. Just like Anastasia and I call her my fearless leader. She really motivated me to put my voice out there, you know, become the person that my dad raised me to be, you know, not this cowed, quiet woman that my ex had just broken my spirit. You know, I didn't have a voice anymore except for my children. And I finally had enough and I took my voice back. And well, he didn't like that very much. And he's in jail right now again because I got tired of him trying to tear everything I worked for down.
That's your inner voice and your inner strength. Crystal.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful story. But I will tell you one thing. He would never break his spirit. Never. Break. Karma got him, yeah? But this, obviously, someone just cut me off. My energy power just cut off. They don't like the conversation, perhaps. Woo! Raise awareness.
Yeah.
Let the world to raise.
But really think about it, though. Like I said just a second ago, when we allow life happening for us in a way, like I said, it really, when we are, like I said, had that powerful thought that really hits Crystal and hits Miranda and hits Jerome and hits Monica and hits Amber and hits Barry and Carla and Brenda Lise and whoever else is around you, that's going to matter. And here's why. Not only will they be able to feel it or maybe even see it. Now, not on yesterday's call that we were talking about, when it comes to a thought is powerful, what we also kind of delved into is, what if that thought turns not only into a habit, and maybe that habit literally turns into belief. Think about it. If we have something really powerful, we can not only believe it, but we can allow others to believe it. Now, mind you, it's like what Kimberly Lightneck was always about here, bringing humanity together, about, what's that?
Believe in it.
Nice. I love that. But what she's all about is about alignment and agreement. See, I truly believe, and what we believe here, bringing humanity together, is when we allow people to start that journey, whether it be from alignment or even agreement. Those are two gifts in and of itself. But maybe if you allow them to start that journey saying, hey, I'm in such an alignment with Crystal with this speaks to me. But you know what? Maybe I have to let them take that journey into agreement with Crystal and just let that be. Or vice versa, let them take that journey from agreement into alignment, because they say, hey, I'm in such agreement with Monica on all these things, but I got to take that journey into alignment. But when you had that coup de grace moment, and when they had that coup de grace moment, to where again it becomes one, to where not only are they in alignment, but also they are in agreement, that will be the coup de grace moment for humanity like never before seen in human history. And I truly believe it's not a matter of if that happens, it's only a matter of when. So let's go to our final thoughts in today's great and engaging conversation with Crystal's story. So I'll go to you, Miss Miranda. What say you?
Yes, as always, different perspective and interesting, like things that happen to us in one way or another, and that we reflect towards it. And when you are in this situation of fight or flight because of trauma, of pain that you had, you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe, and you keep saying to you every day that you're not good enough, and you're not good. And the saddest thing is that other people see your potential, something that you don't see, and then they try to ruin your light, and you believe it. That's so unfortunate. So you have to. All of us should work. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miranda. We greatly appreciate you. And we got to get you kept updated on what's been going on. So we're glad that you're back. Thank you so much. So we'll go over to Jerome.
Okay. Thank you.
Jerome, what's your final thoughts on today's great and engaging conversation with Crystal's story today?
Hey, I was sorry, I was charging my phone. I loved it. Thank you so much. I don't have too much to say, but it was great hearing everybody and great hearing the conversation. And Crystal, thanks again for sharing your story. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jerome. We greatly appreciate you. So I'll go over to you, Barry. What's your final thoughts on Crystal's awesome and amazing story?
Well, it's just powerful, and I have to admit, when I listen to these stories of tragedy and struggle, and align it to my empathies, it drains me. It does physically drain me, because I wish I had all the answers to the problems, and I don't.
Message me later. I have a few tricks to help with that.
Thank you, Crystal. That's appreciated. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Chris.
All right. Thank you so much, Barry. We greatly appreciate you. Over to you, Amber. Since it's your first time on our show, we're glad to have you here. Hope to see you on more. Well, what's your final thoughts in Crystal's great and amazing story with us today?
Oh, I just think she's a tower of perseverance. I mean, that's what you have to be to get through it. And it shows her resiliency. Like you cannot be weak and go through those situations, because if you are, quite frankly, you're not going to get out. Those are the women that die. Those are the women that don't escape those relationships. That when their husbands finally go, they can finally break their cage. But Crystal had the chance to say, you know what? I'm not going to stay in my cage. I'm not going to be trapped anymore. I'm going to break my cage and I'm going to fly. And she did. And she's still soaring. And she's going to keep soaring. And when you share that story, it gives other women who are stuck in their cages the ability to break free. And I think we do. It's not that we're stepping stones, but I can't remember what show it is. I feel like it's Walking Tall that I heard this on. Possibly, I'm not going to guarantee it, but it was like someone is always looking back at you to help pull you forward. But you should always be looking back to make sure there's not because somebody's looking up to you too, to bring them up. And I think we're all stepping stones for one another. Like, we can build off one another. Crystal may have gotten over one thing with her domestic violence that I hadn't, and she can share it with me. And I go, oh, that's how she did it. Easy. Where I can share the same piece with her. And it's something that's not easy at all, but we just needed it highlighted in a different way for us to go, wait, that makes sense now.
We've actually done that with each other.
Yes, I can get through this now, because whatever that block was that she had, I gave her the tool to see it. And I think that's what we do. We do that for one another. That's supposed to be what humanity is that we share these common interests, these common goals, so that we can all progress together, grow together, expand together, that's just what we're supposed to do. Like, we're never supposed to stop growing, I don't think. And I felt like that's what I did in my marriage. Like, I had just become a stagnant. I couldn't,
even though you were
expand.
in and out of college and everything, it just wasn't.
Yep. Yeah, and I went to college and just expanded, and I think that's where we are at now as a society. We need to build out.
Yep.
So that we can build up. And instead of this individualistic, we build ourselves up. No, it should be, how are you building up your community around you so that everybody rises together? And if everybody's looking at building everybody else together, nobody should be going lower, right? Like, nobody should be left behind. We should all be able to rise. And as like the mother of 3 neurodivergent kids of different scopes, including myself, like, you're going to hit challenges. You're going to hit roadblocks. You just have to figure out how to get through it. Whether it's through it, over it, around it,
break the ditch
up and moving it, blowing up the block in front of you, whatever you need to do to get that out of your path and keep going forward. That's what we should all be doing.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Amber, because see, what I truly believe is going to be something of great significance and really of an inspiration to us all when you really think about it. And the way I do it, and I share it in this kind of way with people, I just share with people, I say, hey, I don't care how you start the race. I really don't. I don't care how you finish the race. I really don't. What I care about the most
is that
number one, what did you learn along the way? What did you learn and grow from the things that were given to you? How did you give that back to people? How were you able to connect with them? Did you give them that next currency of humanity, which is rooted in value and not money? It's about the journey there within that's the most important thing. Because see, Amber, we can get to a destination all day long, and that's all well and good, but those things keep repeating themselves to a certain degree, and we really don't look for what really matters most is that very journey. Because see, we're going on to the next thing, we're going on to the next thing. But if we really take it journey by journey, moment by moment, that can literally define us in so many different and great and invaluable ways that we can't even possibly even fathom to imagine how that will look like when we actually do see that. And when we embrace that, to me, that's when we start building those field of dreams together. And we will do that. It's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. And I truly believe that. So I'll go to you, Miss Monica. What's your final thoughts in Crystal's great and amazing story today?
Start. Wow. World is dual. It's always been about good and bad. Female, male, and then all of this, good and bad stuff. Through those stories, ladies, it's just you on heroes. And then I believe that we human being doesn't really know our inner power until we are being faced with like a situation that we would have thought that, oh, we can't go through it, but then we're just facing the biggest challenges, and we are being as superhumans, overcoming them, and just building up ourselves in a strength in that beliefs that obviously we can. That's our limited beliefs, we can more than we think we can, and obviously working together and then supporting each other's. And as you said, Amber, if someone falls, just pull them up, but then you have to build yourself up. You have to start with yourself. You have to start to love yourself to be able to share the love. Yeah. Otherwise, if your cup isn't full, you can't really share your cup. When your cup is overloaded, you can share the love. You can share not experience, because we can share wisdom, guys, because that wisdom comes from the experiences, from the traumas, from unhealthy relationship, childhood traumas, limited beliefs. And I can count them all, because I believe that the common thing we all have and we can share, it's the the huge suffering that we all been through in our life. But through suffering, we really found our true self, the wisdom. Through suffering, we could quiet our mind and we could hear this subtle whisper of our soul, and just to realize, wow, I'm not a mind, I'm the soul, and I'm experiencing life. And as you said, Chris, through experiencing journey, good and bad moments, they build us up, they make us who we are now, or who are meant to become, who are destined to become, And then I believe that being and going through this journey all together, experiencing our experiences, sharing the experiences, and based on our, past to help others, truth and authentic, like give people to follow, or let people to fall in love with our stories, and just to see the truth and authentic, human beings in other, humans. It's just seeing them for not who they are, who they might become, or who they will be, perhaps, and just, I think, by seeing good in people and like sharing the story, like you, Crystal, and you, Amber, shared with us, being vulnerable these days. Wow, that's the limited edition, honestly, because people are so fake. They are so afraid to be true and authentic. And vulnerability, it's probably, the random experience, and then, it's been cherished. It should be cherished very much, because that's showing the, authentic, true human being. Yeah. And I love your stories, ladies. Thank you so much for being vulnerable. And just, it only shows like how beautiful you are inside, and that beauty really shine and then, flourish outside of you. We are all beautiful souls. And then we need to stick together because we can create a new earth, the world of, compassion, empathy, full of love, when humans can be true and authentic selves. They can't be afraid,
And not be
they can't
ridiculed.
live in fear.
Yes, well said, Monica. And I truly believe we will have those spaces here and places for people to sit at that very table of humanity, which we're already there on. We're already there. And I truly believe we will be at the forefront to really bring people together from every corner of this world and really do it to where we truly are one, because we're already there as well. So I love that. Thank you so much. So I'll go to the lady of the hour. Crystal, I will let you share your final thoughts and what will be your call to action today for everyone, and what will be the kind of big takeaway you want people to resonate with. So over to you.
I appreciate everybody that came. Thank you. Much love. And the support that you've given and the insights. I'm kind of stealing your thunder a little bit, Chris. I've got 2 quotes in my head that I want to share. One of them, I'm not 100% the exact wording, but it's basically what it says is that, yes, you're going to crash and burn, but you will rise, but the burn will hurt. And we all have to go through that crash and burn, and the regrowth is what's important. What you take from being burned to the ashes. My ex literally burnt my entire life to the ground, like ground zero, done. The last Christmas I was with him, the only reason I didn't take the knife all the way up my wrist was I heard my girls playing, and I realized I can't leave them with him. It's not that I just couldn't leave them with him. But the other quote is, pretty sure everybody's heard it. They whispered to her, "You can't withstand the storm." She whispered back, "I am the storm." And that quote actually got me through a lot as well. I like to have those little empowering things around, besides my guitars and stuff. Like, I do a lot of those kind of things. I purposely will color them, whatever, to remind myself, no, you're not this pushover. Yeah, you have a big heart, but no, you are the storm. You are the one that's making change. You have a voice. Use it. Don't bow down. I was a people pleaser for a long time. And yeah, I still want to help people, but remembering to set those boundaries and see who's using and who legitimately wants to help themselves. That's what I tell people now when I go to work with them. If you're willing to do the work, I will help you. Understand you stumble. That's okay. I'll be there to help you get back up. But you have to meet me halfway. Because I'm tired of being taken advantage of, and we all should be willing to meet halfway to lift each other, Yeah, there are days when Amber stumbles, I give her a call, lift her up. There were a couple of times where I called her like freaking out. She lifted me up. And that's what you do in a community, of people that care, that's how it should be. Not taking advantage. Oh, Amber, she's having a flip out. Let's poke at it and make it worse, like so many people do, or use it to their advantage. Oh, cool, she's not all there. Maybe I can get her to loan me $50 that I'll never pay back, when knowing that you're dealing with other things. Getting rid of the toxic and bringing in the positive is the biggest thing that I want people to take from me. You can be a people pleaser without being used.
Yeah. So, Crystal, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today here on Conversation for Humanity. And Brenda Lees, we should have had you on I'm telling you, you would have loved it and
Ah.
everything like that. So, Brenda Lees, we got to definitely get your thoughts when you watch the replay and everything like that. But here's my final thoughts in today's great and engaging conversation about Crystal's story. Number one, know that you are worthy in every aspect of your life. Number two, life happens for you and not to you. And number three, I think the biggest thing of all is believe in yourself. Believe it will be done. Believe it will inspire others. Believe people will be able to see what you see, and maybe in turn you can see what they see or even believe in and of itself. So I just truly believe, like I said, when we meet people where they are and take them for who they are and build that bridge to them and with them in such a way, not only does it work in our world, but also works in theirs, I truly believe the next thing to come to pass is not only the very definition of change, which is transformation. And yes, Brenda Lees, we all have the power within ourselves to rise. And I truly believe the next rise and renaissance of humanity will probably be brought forth by bringing humanity together. I truly believe it's not a matter of if, it's only going to be a matter of when. So, from all of us here at Bringing Humanity Together, have a great day. Make your day. We'll see each other tomorrow on another LinkedIn event hosted by our great team in the Pillar of Human Development, Brenda Lees, Crystal, Sven, and Isabel. And we'll see each other tomorrow at 2:45 via Zoom. So you guys have a great day making your day. We'll see each other tomorrow
Hi,
on
guys.
LinkedIn community event.
Bye.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.